Okay. Just making sure that everything is connected as it should and is working as it should before we start. Guys, remember I'm a one-man band here. I'm a one-man band, so I have to do these checks before we go. Welcome, everybody, to the start of the new season. We are back. Club football is back, guys. Yo! Hey, international. Yeah, it has been boring. The Club World Cup was not really as popular as we thought it was going to be. But then now we're back with actual league club football with the opening tournament of the PSL season, the MTN8. Welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is mokwena. I'm your host, and today, of course, you know, if Chiefs, Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns, Banyana or Bafana are in action, I will be here live where we can watch it together. Remember, guys, this is a watch along for the people who are here for the first time. This is called a watch along, and a watch along means that we're going to watch it together, but I don't own the rights to any of this stuff. I can't show you the game live because I can't even think about the type of money that you'd need to have in order to have these rights. So we watch it together. Then, of course, it's a very interactive show where you can jump in and talk to me and tell me what you are thinking about whatever it is that is going along. And this happens two ways. Number one, at halftime, I'm going to let 5 people in, and we are going to have a discussion about what we're seeing on the screen, analyze it at halftime. And then, of course, if we can reach 25,000 likes, I leave it open, and everybody can then jump in using the multi-guest feature on TikTok. Bottom of your screen, pink figure hugging a blue figure. You click on that, I'll let you in, and we have a conversation. But if we do reach 25,000 likes before anything is done, then we are able to I will just keep it open anyway, and we'll carry on going. So that is what I'm looking for. But we are back, guys. Let's go through the two teams. Of course, Polokwane City versus Orlando Pirates. A recap of where these teams were last season for them to end up in the MTN8. Orlando Pirates finished number 2. They played 28 games, 19 wins, 4 draws, and 5 losses. They scored 43 goals and conceded only 20 for a grand total of 61 points. Then, of course, Then, of course, Puti Mohafe's team, Polokwane City, finished number 7 on the log, 28 games played, 8 wins, 10 draws, and 10 losses. They scored 19 goals. They conceded 25 goals. And then, of course, they finished with 34 points. In their last 5 games, which goes back to the season, Polokwane City has 3 draws and 2 losses. The last game out was a 0-0 draw versus Kaizer Chiefs. Well, obviously, we're not going to look at the friendlies for them, but 0-0 draw versus Kaizer Chiefs. Then, of course, Orlando Pirates in theirs, where we do have track of their friendlies. They have a win, 3 draws, and the last game out was a win versus Granada. These teams have met in the last 5 games. These two teams, Pirates has won 4. There's been a draw, and Polokwane City has yet to beat Orlando Pirates. Last game out was on the 5th of April, 2025. Where Orlando Pirates managed to beat Polokwane City 1-0 away. I just want to get my timer right as we kick off here. And we're off. Then, of course, in terms of the starting lineups, for Polokwane City, you have Wire in goal, you have Mantonzi, you have Kwanga, you have Nigani Nkaki, you have Batlabani, you have Mapangule, Ramabu, Mashiani, Moremi, and Dlamini. And for Pirates, Chain, goalkeeper of the season, defender of the season, Spisi. Young player of the Carling knockout, if I'm not mistaken, Bogazi. You have Hoto, you have Shandu. You have new faces in the midfield, Nduli, Mbule with Utito. Then, of course, you have Maswanganyi. Oh, you have Utito, sorry, I'd already said that. You have Fukeng Apolis and Radio Panic. Guys, I'm not going to lie. This Paris team is scary. I'm not going to lie. This Paris team looks very scary. Just think about that midfield. Nduli, Mbule, Tito, Apolis, probably on the right-hand side. Yo, guys. The only person I'm not sure of, to be honest with you, is Radio Pani. I think Radio Pani, a lot is going to be expected from him. But here's the interesting part. When you look at the bench, you have Dladla, you have Danson, you have Sibilibili, you have Mariko, you have Koki, you have Dlamini, you have Moremi, you have Mbutuma, you have Mashilwane. I don't think Pirates in this game has enough out-and-out game changers if the game does get tough. So, now Travis Scott. Utito ngale hairstyle yakhe nangu Travis Scott udlala ngeheadband. You don't have enough game changers, personally, for me, on the bench. You're still missing out on midfield of the season. Midfield of the season, Makaula. So let's see. Here comes Hoto. Oh, ball played to Apolis, who's playing versus his former team. Ooh, Polokwane City already. Kichibang tibang. Suga nje kichibang tibang. Anyway, let me see the comments. Let's forget about the chemical engineering. Guys, apparently the pitch over at Orlando Stadium has been relayed. 10 weeks ago was relayed at the cost of R1 million, or approximately R1 million. So they are playing on a very new pitch. They are playing on a very new type pitch. So let's see. Koke, welcome. Butlali, this is a scary team, man. Caesar says Pirates will lose this one. Very, very interesting. I want to see how they play. Because here's the thing about Pirates, last season. The thing about Pirates last season is that even though you have midfield of the season, Makaula in the center, you had Mbata, you had Abodlamini as options, right? They never really played the ball up the middle. This whole thing of Pirates being a great team that plays up the middle and plays and does all that stuff was really a myth, because Mbogazi was the main distributor towards the end of the season. Nda is usually the main distributor when he's on the pitch, and they usually play long diagonal balls. So I think the big thing that Pirates has to prove maybe is that, fine, you can play the wing play, you can play a football where you don't put Abomfukeng under pressure, or you put Abomfukeng under pressure to win high balls versus the right and left back. Abonkota, we're having to go through that. But now what this Pirates team has to show us with these signings is, do you have the capability and the confidence to want to build the ball up and play the ball up the center and have Bule, I'm guessing is going to be more of an 8. Have Bule be comfortable enough to come back and fetch the ball, turn, give it to Abo Tito. We've heard a lot about Bule in that he's very good with runners. So if you watch some of the Skukune games, he was very comfortable with getting the ball turning and then looking at who's making the runs and playing the passes. He's going to have to play a similar role here at Pirates, but it hasn't been done like that. Last season, we used to speak about Talent Mbata disappearing sometimes in the middle. We used to speak about Abodlamini favoring more attacking placements when Pirates was playing up instead of having that hole. And the one player who could do that from midfield, come back and fetch the ball, Undlondlo, was not part of it, was not in the game. So I don't know what happened with Undlondlo. Obviously, he's no longer at Pirates, but whatever happened to him made sure that Pirates didn't have anybody who could really fetch the ball and build it up and play it up, right? So there was sort of a separation of the teams with Van Rooyen and Hoto pushing up, Makaula covering with like a back three, Makaula, Mboga Zisbisi, right? In sort of a back three with the others pushed up, but you wouldn't necessarily see them playing. So I want to see that connection. I want to see the connection that they have, if there's a connection that has been built between that midfield and the defense, and that midfield and the attack. Abomfukeng are going to be can't be fighting long balls all the time as well. Mashiane, of course. Polokwane City doesn't have an out-and-out striker here. They've also lost Apolis, who was one of the star players. This is a chance for Coach Pitso Mosimane to show us how much of a good coach he is. Pitso Mosimane is somebody that I always vouch for in what he's been able to do with Polokwane City at very tough times. I mean, towards the end of last season, obviously, you knew about the Apolis problems. But Polokwane City obviously missing out on a lot of players that had made a difference. But this is a chance for them to show that they're a team. One of the things, when you're coaching at number 7, number 8, number 9, all the way down, that is a coaching job. That is a coaching job. That is you don't have all of your resources, you don't have all that stuff. You have to come up with plans. And Coach Pitso Mosimane has shown to be one of the coaches that does that very well, along with people like Abosiema, right? So I want to see what Polokwane City is going to do here. We got a glimpse there with a counter-attack that maybe Pirates should be looking out for. Open up, Master Chef. Oh, someone open up. Don't take it back to him for a long ball, please. Okay, that's better. Mfukeng, nice, wide open. 6 minutes in, guys. It is 0-0. Pirates has entered the box a couple of times here. They've had a couple of chances, but it hasn't looked all too impressive like that, if I'm being 100% honest. Oh, okay. Is Radio Man playing false nine? We're back, Nicole. We're back. Every August we find bad pitches after 2 months of no football. They said they relayed it. So I don't know if the pitch right by the goal line is bad or if it's just the sand, but it shouldn't be looking like that after they said that. Sorry, man. Bongani says, let's see the plumber. When you're saying plumber, you are referring to Abdesalam Wadu, the new coach of Pirates, a guy we saw a little bit at Marumo Gallants before making his way. He is somebody that has played in England in the EPL, I believe, for Fulham. He's coached, he's got some experience coaching in Africa. I believe AS Vita was the team. So we're going to see. He's been hailed as a tactician, as somebody that wants to play the ball, as somebody that is a very good coach, tactically, structurally. Apparently, he put in a 40-page pitch to Marumo Gallants before leaving that was turned down, and that's why we see him here. But yeah, let's see what Abdesalam Wadu is going to give us. Up to this point, all we've seen is the same, if I'm being 100% honest with you, I'm not going to lie. Pirates is playing very wide. Hotto has been very busy here on the left-hand side, which does maybe open to that counter. If Undule, if you know Unduli, you know Stellenbosch and how they used to counter Pirates with that two-man back. So let's see, man. Polokwane needs to win to avenge what Edmund did to us. Lebza says Pirates should win this one. Polokwane City loves giving Pirates wins. OT, why are you making the argument that Bule is out to replace Tito? Bule 8, Tito 10. It's because of what they're meant to do. So what I was looking at is that Pirates was moving away from having an out-and-out 10, and they were trying to make Tito an 8 and Tito a 6 at times, with Mfukeng inverting. So my whole thing, helped on a little bit by having Apolis also in the team, was that I don't think Tito was playing 10 at Pirates towards the end, right, of last season, for much of last season. Remember, he spent some time on the bench. And what I was thinking is that Umbule then plays a better 8 than Utito, right? And if you want two creative centers of power, it might be a little bit tough because both those teams need, and both those players need the ball. So you'll probably see it in this game where Utito, for example, I used to call him, Tito's biggest strength at Pirates was that he was the pressure valve. He was the guy that tells Pirates to go, to slow down, to play it long, to relax. That was Tito's job. Bule does the exact same thing. So if you have both of them on the pitch, how do you make it work that both of them can do that, if not step on each other's toes? So it was based on watching Mfukeng play a left wing inverting to a 10 for a lot of that season. It was based on watching Makgopa dropping back into the space. Remember what I told you, what I always say on the show. Makgopa, Tito and Mfukeng can't play in the same team because they take up much of the same spaces. And if you look at when Pirates was successful, it's when one of those three was off. If the three of them are on the pitch, there's too much crowding that happens. Now, to be fair, we saw Umbule playing with Abolinda Mtambo in a similar role. So maybe you could think of it as a Tito and Dlamini rather than a Tito and Mbata, right? But that's what I was basing it on, that I believe at some point throughout the season, you're going to have to pick between Tito and you're going to have to pick between, Tito and Mbule. But it's going to be because if you continue wanting Mfukeng to play the 10 and continue crowding the 10 area, your creativity is going to have to come from the 8, if that makes sense. So let's see. I'm not saying that it's going to be that. I'm just highlighting why one of the issues and why I think it's very hard to balance it. Think of it like Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius, right? Mbappe can play in the striker, but he usually goes to the left. Can those two coexist together if both of them want to do the exact same thing in the team? The question is then who's going to do it better? And up to this point, again, if you look at the center of Pirates, the center of Pirates' midfield has not come to the fore here. If not to do back passes, the 1-2 wall passes back, And if Polokwane was pressing a little bit more, you'd probably see Pirates go back to that thing they were playing the last time, where it's I give it to Mbogazi and he plays it out. But to be fair, look at where Umbule is picking up the ball. That's probably where you want him. I call it at Pirates the Ndlondlo role. But we'll see. We'll see. You see, look at where Apolis is. Look at how crowded the 10 is. Goal. Ooh, okay, wow. They made it work. Hey, I take it back. Pirates 1-0. Pirates 1-0. Proper work up the center. OT, this is Pirates at their best, or do you think they'll improve? First 10 minutes, we know Pirates. Pirates playing wide will not be good because... But you see, Bongs, bring it down into the center. Bring it down into the center. Okay. Come on, there's shade by the... Is it shade, Litabo? Is it shade? Yes, I'm just updating the score. Okay, Pirates 1-0. 1-0 up versus Polokwane City. Pirates look scary this time around. No, that's what I was saying about the starting lineup. The starting lineup actually does look pretty scary if you look at it all together. And again, look at the space where Apolis picks up the ball, right? So it's going to be, it'll have to be a very fluid Pirates up top. I believe Apolis is meant to be playing on the right-hand side. So to see them moving in and out is very good. To actually see them combine down the middle, that's good. Mbule with the line-breaking pass, that's what Bata was lacking. Ola Oti and the overthinkers. As always, we're mamelodi Sundowns. Yes, so yeah, Butali. So that's what I was speaking about, that the creativity from Pirates is going to have to come from Mbule going back into the 8. And you're going to see the other guys running around him. Where Tito fits, I'm not sure. But it's not going to be the role that Tito normally plays, where he's the most creative, the pressure release player, right? What's going to be interesting with this Pirates team from the first half that we're watching here is how are they going to cope with a counter-attack? If you've seen Polokwane City, they've had a couple of 2 or 3 chances where they've countered on Pirates, and Mashiani's looked a little bit dangerous. But obviously, I don't think they're at the level where they can hurt the Pirates, to be honest with you. Someone comment on the Master Chef in the first game. Already missing my scooter, says Bongs. Now I know Pirates first. It's fast like that. Mbule line breaking pass. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I was saying. That I don't know who's going to be the lead player, because it looks like Mbule is just stepping directly into that role. Okay, what happened? Is there something happening with my screen? Guys, am I still visible? What's going on? Please let me know there in the comments if something is happening. Bata's definitely going to eat dust. He's not even on the bench. Oh, we're good. Okay, thank you, Neo. Pirates will be dangerous this season. Do you know what's the tough part, man? The tough part about Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns is not when you're up. So the tough part, beginning of the season is very good because the motivations, players are playing, they're running very hard. It's going to be when you face some tougher games and we get to see if your structure can hold all the players that you have, right? So a lot of people think of Sundowns and we think of really good players, but what we don't give Sundowns credit for is the fact that that structure and system, when things are going wrong and the motivation is gone and you're having a bad day, that structure and system steps in, right? So that's going to be Pirates' biggest question this season, because Pirates has always had great teams, like very good teams. The problem with Pirates is that they are an emotional team. They're an emotional team. Pirates doesn't lose games because they've lost games or outplayed. Usually they lose games because they're just not up for it, or emotionally they're just not there and they don't show up. So that's going to be the big question for Pirates this season. Can you become a machine? As the umchini, whether it's an easy game or it's a hard game, you have to go win those games. Frankly put, straightforward. That's how you win a league. The key to Mamelodi Sundowns' dominance is a consistency of performance. It's not because Abu Ribeiro are playing 8, 9 out of 10 every game. Abu Ribeiro can disappear. Reina stepped up. There was a part of the season last season where Reina stepped up. And Pirates had it at the beginning of last season where they were finding ways to win games that they weren't supposed to win. They were turning draws into wins. Right? And they were turning losses, even games where they were meant to lose, into wins. But the issue comes when you're playing Cape Town City and it's raining and it's not nice and you're in Cape Town and the wind and the weather and your game has been delayed and you have to play. Then they just don't pitch for those games. We saw the last games of the season, how Pirates sort of collapsed in on itself. They kind of gave it up. That's the big question. Umnandi abo Master Chef when they're cooking, right? But do you have prepackaged meals that you can take out of the fridge and microwave? Chef Maeko, right? You get what I mean? Anyway, 17 minutes in, Pirates 1-0 versus Polokwane City. A goal coming from newcomer, former Polokwane City player, Police. Bucks will start like last season and die after Jan. We've seen this movie before. That's the question. Pirates looks prone to concede to counterattacks. It's what I'm seeing, Soweto Jan. It's actually what I'm seeing because Polokwane City have, I think, entered the box once or twice. And Umashiani has actually given Uspisi and Uspisi Nombogazi some issues. I don't know if Nduli is as good of a coverer as Umakawula. So if Polokwane City was to gain a little bit more confidence and maybe counter more directly, I think they could get something from this game, merely from having Umashiani be sort of a physical center up there, center forward. Maybe you have a third run that's coming down the middle, where Umashiani can put it down for the player. You might see something. But like we said, Polokwane City might not play that way up until it's too late. A lot of the teams that play Pirates and Sundowns, they come into the games and there's answers on the pitch for what they need to do. But they only do the answers when it's 2-0 down and it ends up being 4-0 because now when you're attacking, you are desperate. So I'll never understand. But I guess we'll see how it's going to pan out. I do, though, feel like if we see some counters there, something might break here. One thing I'd like to note is I'm actually loving that it seems like Ucoach has stopped the Mfukeng number 10 experiment. If you see the type of places, oh, no, there we go. Okay, they're rotating. They're rotating. Okay, there we go. Is he going to go back to the wide space? Okay, they're rotating. Interesting. Sorry, I'm just mapping some movement here. Mfukeng finds himself now on the right-hand side. Bule has gone towards the left. Apolis has dropped into sort of the 8. Tito was playing almost like a striker with Radio Pani. But if you do that, you have to make sure, yeah, that Hoto goes back. Okay, there's Hoto going back. Has Mfukeng cycled back? No, it's Radio Man. Okay, it's a fluid Pirates front, I see. I guess what I'm liking is that there's coordination with their movements. That's very good, actually, if you're going to be doing that. You see how Tito's picked it up on the side, but because Tito's moved out, Mfukeng is down the center. Even if Apolis pulls out, Mbule is going to cover Hoto on the wing. Interesting. Very interesting. Men's football is not how you start, but what you do in the middle of the season, says Bongs. Pirates need to be top class from match 1 to 30. Worker Chiefs, Pirates is humble. It's passion, not emotion. Yeah, no, it's great. Same thing. What happens when the passion is not there on a day? What happens? Guys, I think whether you call it passion or emotion, the statement still remains. What happens when the passion is not there on a Wednesday versus Makesi? Can you win that game in order to keep up with the machine that's the Sundowns? That's what I'm saying. So you can't afford it. The biggest compliment I'm paying to Pirates right now is that a lot of what Pirates needs to do to go and win a league is up here. It's not on the pitch. A lot of teams have to do a lot on the pitch in order. Pirates needs to fix here because they are a very, very good team. So the biggest compliment is also the biggest weakness for Pirates. You guys have got a big team, but on any day, you can give Cape Town Spurs, I think it was, their first win of the season. You know what I mean? And then when those things add up, while Sundowns are still, whether they need to win 1-0 or 2-0 or 4-0, they just keep winning. Pirates then falls behind. And whether we call it passion, whether we call it emotion, it remains. Umnandi. But can you be disciplined enough to go and get the 1-0 when you need to get the 3 points at the rate that you need to get the 3 points against when you're trying to take it from Sundowns? Agent says, can they sustain this intensity? It's interesting. I like the movement. I like the running around. But let's be honest. I like the structure. Mfukeng just literally moved from the left-hand side all the way to the right and back again. It does seem like they are putting in sort of rest cycles where you don't necessarily have to go all the way back immediately. But more and more of that movement means that you're going to be putting a lot, you're going to be taxing your legs a lot. And maybe that's what the Marumo Gallants, why am I saying Marumo? That's why Abdesalam Wadu wants from them. Oh, here comes Polokwane City. Polokwane City last season had a defense that scored. The top goal scorer came from the defense. The defense scores a lot. So set pieces and things like that become very important. Let's see if they've worked on anything here that's any different. Anyway, experience, consistency, and planning is what makes Downs different. I've seen enough. Pirates is going to win everything, says boy. I'm just waiting for when we face Stellenbosch. We always found that game to be a bit tough. Hey, Mr. Oti, how are you doing, soldier man? Promise is back. Okay, let's see. With the AFCON and the World Cup this season, I don't see Pirates dominating. PSL will be interesting overall next season. We're going to be shocked. Most teams will not come to the party. The Polokwane City coach did say his plans to counter. Seems if Relay leaves to Saudi in a week or two, so Pirates also learn. OT will judge the coach's tactics after the game. Relax. No, I love this. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. I'm not necessarily saying it's good or bad, but I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. What I love about what Pirates is doing right now, to be honest with you, is there's a certain discipline. Sometimes when we see teams playing when we see teams playing this rotating football and players are popping up here and there, we think that it's all down to the players themselves. But like, look at the different movements and it's like trigger points, which is very interesting. It's still 25 minutes. I want to see it over a while, but it's very interesting to see how disciplined the players are in order of changing. You see how, for example, Hoto's blind run there allowed Mfukeng to pop up free because the player that was tracking Hoto chased Hoto back. So I like that part of it. Obviously, we're going to have to see it consistently in order to say that this is what Pirates is doing now, but I love this part of it. You know, with Apolis being right-footed, there'll be rotations in the front 3 at 8. George is right. What happens when the chips are down? Boy says, in all the matches Pirates failed to win, it wasn't for a lack of not creating chances. It was, actually, boy. It was. No. Pirates doesn't create as many chances as we speak of. I say this about Chiefs too. Chiefs, we say, created a lot of chances. The quality of chance was very low. So Pirates now, if you look at them, there wasn't really a pattern to their scoring. You get what I mean? Ball pops up free, Mfukeng takes the shot, he scores. I'm not taking it away from any of them. They scored those goals. But in terms of creating chances, Pirates wasn't that impressive on a game-by-game basis. They had very high highs, though, you know, which is, again, what I'm talking about, passion, emotion, all of that stuff. They have very high highs, where if they catch you sleeping, What do I always say for those who watch the show all the time? Pirates is the most dangerous team in the league. The most dangerous. Not the most consistent. If they can find a consistency to their danger, you'll see something. Pirates, if it catches you sleeping, it can be 5-0 easy. Scotini will be rocking. Will be rocking. Hey, uzavuga segui 5 umangale ukuthi ibuya in the 5. What happened? It'll be 20 of the hottest minutes you've seen, right? But then sometimes Pirates just doesn't come to the party, and there were games where Makaula had to score a header and Hoto had to score a free kick in order for you to win. We need to stop Tuesday and Wednesday games. Only Sundowns can play. Do you see Makaula playing in Dasesan? How do you feel about the likes of Gladysas Bilibili? Look, you have to be fair. If they're performing, they're performing. SBC and Bogazi are a great substitute for Nda and Sesane because you still have the ball playing. Bogazi, one of Bogazi's underrated traits is his playmaking, his ability to play the long pass that Nda usually plays. So you don't miss out on a lot. So I don't know if the others are going to play, but I do know that if Pirates does come into trouble throughout the season when it comes to players or something, or some things of that nature, they do have players that are available to come inside and do the job, if that makes sense. So I don't know who's going to be better or not. All I'm saying is that the profiles of players that they have can easily replace each other, to be honest. The goalkeeper, who's going to be the 2 centre backs for Pirates? Stick to SBC and Bogazi, to be honest with you. Spisi just got the captaincy, so I don't see him benching too much this season. Bogazi is one of the pure fighters that Pirates has. They don't have pure fighters plus a ball player like they have with Bogazi. So I think I'm just going to stick to them. There's clear-cut chances for Kaizer Chiefs. No, Chiefs. Sundays 5:30 p.m. can also be for Sundowns only. No preseason showed us that under pressure, the 2 centre-backs can't play. Yeah, but is it because they can't play or because they don't have CDMs that are active? And so far, what Mbule has given them is a CDM that can be active, or an 8 that plays in the role that can be active. I was also giving credit to Urile in this game for actually dropping back and playing the wing a lot more than inverting. So he's been playing the wing. You'll see him actually drop back and sometimes make touches to put the defense under less pressure. I mean, I'm old school, guys. I don't need my defense to play 100 passes. If you're under pressure, kick it up, man. Like, if you're under pressure, magunzima, kick it up. You see Mbule and Rile. You see where Rile picked up that ball? You see where Rile picked up that ball? That's the magic. Bule and Rile are assisting Hoto and the defense. That's the magic. By the way, where's Tito? I digress. No team can penetrate that backline. Pirates has finally got the team chemistry right. It's over, says Boy. Master GD says Mohafe should follow Ramo Rebuli's steps. Oh, that would be great, eh? Do you think Polokwane City will come back now? The pattern in the PSL, man. Team comes in, they're losing 1-0. They play very hard in the last 10 minutes of the first half. They come out very bright in the first 10 minutes of the second half. And if they don't get anything in those 2 periods, then the game ends with the win. So Pirates still needs to get the 2-0. But I can trust and believe Polokwane City, last 10 minutes, critical phase, they're going to wake up and start playing, which might open up spaces for Pirates to score and make it 2-0. They're going to start the second half very bright, almost on a revenge trail to try and get a goal back. But after that, say from like 56th, 60th minute, they'll be out of it. Seasons with long injuries and suspensions will come. 211 passes completed in 29 minutes. Okay, boy, I will see. But Mbule was there during preseason, Mos. Crazy says, yes, if Pirates smell blood, you are dead. But the problem is a random Tuesday. Exactly. I swear Silepe is going to deputize from Bude. The squad is in sync. Tito's playing 6. Let's see. I don't want to say too much. See, Pirates is giving away. Tito's nowhere to be found today. Intensity gone again. Look, what Pirates need to guard for is just that it's a critical phase. The more you start defending, thinking that you're going into halftime, the more you allow the other team to come at you. So it's twofold. That's what usually happens in the PSL. If Pirates plays this right, you probably get a breakaway score on like a counter attack. Like you win the ball back here, play the ball long, off you go. So Polokwane City sold the player to the MTN8 opponents. Maralebza. How are you saying that will Tito experience in MIM and become a victim of the new system? Look. There's a new sheriff in town. But here comes Tito. No, here comes Mfukeng. A police. Penene, Pirates. Tito's not showing up today because he's overshadowed by the new signings. Boy says Ntude is more influential than I thought. Pirates only good when attacking. Defending is questionable, says Tsepang. True, but like, I think Sundowns has been like that for a very long time as well. The trick is that you're not going to get tested a lot here by the PSL teams. That's just the sad part. So if Pirates can make sure that they take advantage of their good moments, like 2-0 here, then I think the season becomes simpler. You know, one of the things that Sundowns does is Sundowns goes, look guys, we just need the 2 goals early, and it doesn't matter what happens for the rest of the game. We might even manage that game out. It might even become boring towards the end because we've done our job. If Pirates can do that, I guarantee you that they can win the league a lot easier or fight for the league a lot easier than if it stays 1-0 for a very long time. But anyway, like I said, breakaway, Apolis gets the ball, penalty. Here comes Tito. Travis Scott. As he said, get Travis Scott to go tour. There we go. Tito makes it 2-0. Now, do you know what happens, ne? This is what happens. Because we love looking at stats, the argument is going to be 5 weeks from now, or let's say a year from now, when we're looking at players of the season. The argument is going to be Tito's stats. But the truth is that he hasn't been in this game and he scored a goal. That context is going to go missing. And that's the conversation I always have with you guys when you're speaking about like the star players and all of that stuff. The context is going to be lacking. We're going to say that. But I just wanted to say it just to say these are the things that happen. Go Pirates. When we look at the players. And Sundowns to a degree, it happens too. That Motaung scores a goal and then we'll forget about how he played in this game and it will be part of the, he's amazing. Now, let me be fair. Maybe he can come back later after this. Maybe it was a confidence thing. Maybe he'll play a lot better when he comes out of this. But I just want us to see that. First game of the season, ref already making mistakes. I was afraid Tito to angeke. No, he calls himself Travis Scott. They said that he's Travis Scott. It's going to be a goal route. I see 7 or 8 goals here, says Boy. The ref was too happy to point out the pen. Our police are a new problem. Chairman's team already getting penalties. It's going to be a long season. That vase is very important. Pirates only good when attacking. Stats are like a bikini. Tito's role in the team has changed. I wonder what Mbule could do in the 10. Apple is wearing number 12 here. Andres Cebola. Who's complaining you for heaven? Pro Sport is about output. Nothing else matters. Yeah, output output needs context when you're having proper conversations, especially for like awards and things. Now I said some things about relay, and Pirates fans still haven't forgiven me. Not that I need to be forgiven. What I said was correct, but it wasn't taken the way. Oh. Take the shot. Don't try push the ball. Take the shot. Euphorist says, I'll cook you half time. No, come on, Euphorist. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. Guys, remember halftime, if we can get to 25,000 likes, second half, I'm going to have the multi-guest open and you guys can jump in and tell me what you think about the game or even what I'm saying. Halftime, we're going to speak a little bit about the game and we'll speak about where the game is going and what needs to be changed, what has been working, what the analysis of what is happening is going to be. So that is what we're going to be doing halftime. I'm going to let 5 people in. Hlalefang says, our defense is shaking. Tito doesn't fit into the system, says Tsepang. Love the Pirates coach. He's here to learn, not to change things and enhance. Relay is mid-valley, you were right. Hey, can't wait for halftime. I'll tell you guys when to start. How? Why would you foul the keeper and Jay? Hey, but there was no reason to do that. Don't lose your head for no reason. Kimankinkaki. Crosses will be a problem. Pirates is a pass-heavy team. In the air, they could be a bit suspect. But then who's going to be the team that really challenges them with that? Because in the league, really, the most dangerous crossing team was Makesi, if I'm not mistaken. It was Makesi with Chirambadare, number 1, Boy Makuba. I don't think we have another team that is as dangerous crossing, and Supersport Champ doesn't exist anymore. So I don't know if Siwelele will be playing that type of football under OCM. So I think that's out of the way in terms of who's going to cross. So they're only going to struggle with it in the Champions League, really, if we're being honest. It's so sad, man. Like, I think sometimes if there was a PSL team that could just do the ugly thing, they could be so successful in this league. Like when Supersport was at its prime, with the crossing, with the whipping of the balls, they were killing teams just because of that. We don't know how to deal with those things. There's a team that could take that on and be like, no, we want to cross the ball. I'd kill a lot of teams. Now it's Sundowns. It's called frustration, says boy. Kaizer Chiefs, mark my word. I Vulu League. I Paskili FC is getting too comfortable celebrating their new team. Kids, Maramenya. Tinkler will do that. As Kukune. I don't know, eh? What did I say? What did I say? Hey, Butale, hey, what did I say? Kaizer Chiefs used to cross like there is an award for crossing. Yeah. And we used to dominate because of that thing. But people said it's helicopter football and it's ugly. People said it was ugly. Maritingeg. Chiefs also used to play like that. Nekovic. Nekovic. Kenny Nimak. I don't know how many of you guys know Kenny Nimak. Eh? Mariting tool. Iting tool. Angithi ngifuna ukudlala Sundowns. Nonke ngifuna ukudlala Sundowns nonke. You wanna copy Sundowns' blueprint that they laid for themselves. And you wanna copy it kadi side. You don't wanna buy the original. Ngifuna ifongkong yakho. But it's fine. Iting tool. The Rasta award number 20 achieves. Yes! Used to curve balls with his head. Lendok transition and crosser is not new to Chiefs, but Chiefs still waiting for the points deduction. Marumo. CB says, Mbule, guys, look at the counter. Offside. the day you play Stellenbosch, if your defense is set up like this, the day you play Stellenbosch, Titus is going to be so happy. The transition defense here by Pirates, I don't know, eh? And ilento ukuthi Shandu hambile, uhotu hambile. This is why I say the work that Makaula did for Pirates, so underrated. The work that Makaula did for Pirates, so underrated, because this Stellenbosch chows you. This is what beats Pirates at times. If you have the balls enough to counter right. Gule lost one pass one. Hey boy. Guys, 42 minutes, we're heading to halftime. Remember, halftime, I'm going to let 5 people in so that we can have a discussion about what we're seeing here. New season, new Pirates. Let's see what we're thinking about this new Pirates. Look, I have passages with Pirates right now where I'm really impressed. Like, I'm really impressed with the way that they cycle the ball, their movement, especially up front. Now, the issue is that, does it become a sort of Arsenal situation where everybody's moving but nobody's really finishing like that? Like, if we look at pure chances, I don't think Pirates has had that many pure chances in the game. They look great when they're moving around, but I don't know if you get what I mean. Luckily in the league, you don't need that much. You don't need to be that good at a thing to finish number 2. But if Pirates wants to go win and do all of that stuff, you have to take the beauty of the football and the moving around and actually put finishing behind it. So I said during the Pirates preseason, I forgot which game they were playing. It was Paphos. I said that Abombule and Aboapolis, they look great. Their movement is amazing. But if you watch those European teams, all they do is they play the most boring counter-attack, the most boring structured counter-attack, and now it's 1-0, it's 2-0, right? So is the beauty overriding the need to go and win, the need to go and get the goals, right? So Umbule is looking great, but I think him, Notito, need to speak a little bit more together and form an understanding. So if Mbule is going to be the defensive side of the one that's closer to the back, that means that Tito's going to have to step up as the one closest to attack. So the pass that Mbule should be looking for the first time out should be Tito, for example. Yes, there's other people running, but your main partner should be the one that you're looking for with those balls. And you need to progress the ball maybe a little bit faster as well to get the best out of Aboapolis. Aboapolis love a transition. So yeah, we'll see. But I'll hear from you guys. As Chiefs is looking like a long season, number 9 incoming. That Shandu and Hoto going into attack at the same time can be corrected. Boy, no, true. The problem is that it's been the issue for a very long time at Pirates. And if somebody doesn't fix that, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. And Pirates has basically also done the exact same thing that they used to do at the right wing. So pre-quarter and maybe kind of underselling, your winger wasn't necessarily a winger, right? Your winger is somebody who's coming inside, so they wouldn't necessarily play up the right unless it's a Munyane or somebody making a direct run up the wing. That person would more normally be like either somebody who plays centrally or somebody who drops back. Saleng was even just a forward. He'd be a forward that's playing from the right-hand side, but most of his danger would come from the runs that he's making diagonally into the box. So on the left, you've got a pure winger. On the right-hand side, so it's a lot like what Pirates normally does, which is great, I guess, because the coach is respecting how Pirates play. So look at the positioning, right? You don't have an out-and-out winger there. But let's see. I want to see Bucks versus Kukune so bad. And this Kukune has an intensity to them. But Mbule was very important to that Kukune side that gave Pirates problems. Played quicker. Fight. There's a player open. See. You see the two. What did I say? What did I say about having a physical presence going in between those two defenders? Oh, Osbisi, Nombogas have been following each other this whole game long. You remember what I said about Mashiane? If you can play a long ball up, then you can have Mashiane facing the defense, even if it's one man versus the two. He can put a little bit more pressure on that defense. And if you have a runner that maybe was coming in central, running in central, he could play the ball back and release the guy who was on the left-hand side. He couldn't turn himself. This is what I'm talking about. If both your defenders are good, guys, you will remember Makaula. You will remember Makaula. That's all I'm going to say. Bula's football brain says Lebza, when OT rose up. No, no, I went to Napoleon. How are you? Saleh Buffett, if counterattacks are the only threat to the Pirates' defense, the coaches are done themselves. No, I think the problem is that we don't have a purely counterattacking team. So Stellenbosch gives Pirates problems all the time because there was a point where they were a purely counterattacking team, right? Like I said, there's things that can beat a lot of our teams. If there was a team that could play the cross well enough and have a finisher of a cross, that becomes a huge problem. Pirates would struggle with that. So that's why I'm saying that I think Pirates sometimes benefits from being the second best team in the league. And not second best because they're so close to Sundowns, but second best because they're so far ahead of everybody else in terms of when they play. Anyway, half time. Let me see who's here. Pirates leading 2-0. Let me see who's here so that we can have the convo. Let me just bring everybody in. Okay, Stereophonic, my brother. Welcome. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you, OT?
We're back, man. We're back.
Happy new season. Happy new season. I am happy to be back. Mara ezibuhlungu asipheli man. A former target scores on debut. Oh, ezibuhlungu asipheli.
I don't want to say anything because I'm going to ask you about the target and whether it's valid or not. But anyway, Stereophonic, tell me about the first half. How did you feel about it? Guys, please mute when you come in. Please mute when you come in.
Hola, happy new season. I want to share the comments, share the panel. Happy new season, my comrades, my friends, my members. Look, let's be honest. Pirates attacking wise solid, and it's something we are expecting. You know what? The midfield is where you would wonder, because it seems like there's only two. It seems like there's only two. Tito's there to take the penalty. And then at the back, you know what? At the back, we could be seeing a reincarnation of Lekhwatian Mahamud.
Yeah.
I wanna say this, and if you were there, because I get over my 2K onana, but if you remember Mahamudza and Lekhwati, that was one solid Orlando Pirates defense, character-wise, and never say die attitude. That stoked fear in the PSL, and then so I could say, you know what, we're expecting something. We didn't expect a challenge from Polokwane City, although they are getting some form of penetration there, couple of wayward shots there and there, which obviously it wouldn't, you wouldn't worry as a Pirates fan because you can see Roke Awa, no Ramanati, 2-0, but then get a team like Stellenbosch or get a team with a solid midfield or even just an Egyptian team, and then we'll see what they are trying to do. I don't know if the solution is a double pivot or just having, like you were saying, Makaula there would help. That's maybe quite good. The thing is that there are questions that are being asked.
Yeah.
just on that 20 minutes of the first half. But yeah, I must say, solid performance from Orlando Pirates.
You said the offense is clicking very well. Are we saying it's clicking because it looks good? Or are we saying it's clicking because they're getting the results? Because it can look very good, but chances created, goals scored, do we hold it against Pirates?
Okay, I'll put it this way. I'll put it this way. So far, it's looking good. And if you saw the first goal, it's a typical Pirates goal. Something you'd expect from Pirates. So I would say it's looking good. Whereas to say it's effective, we can only find out as the season goes.
Okay, I'm going to come back for your predictions. Let me bring it to Boy. Boy, you've been very positive on this Pirates. Welcome. How are you doing, my brother? Tell me what you thought about the first half.
Dumelang kaofela mapagane this season I expect 6 trophies. I cannot taba gore mang o reng because of ke bone from pre-season dilo tse ke di boneng bafana ba ka ba ditsa go Spain. Bafana ba go Spain ba tletse gore Pirates ke yona because of ntwe ke bonang ka Pirates. Ntuli is holding the midfield. Ke go tse gore 6 a sa bonagali is covering the space. Tito ke ena the problem because of ha bolo e tla go yena go bulela Mbule and Mbule o etsa dilo tsa gagwe a ke tsebe man wait I'm so proud of my team. Ke go tshego Pirates the only problem in nena le yona last season ke ball rotation, ball retention. Mbule o tlile gore ha tshwere bolo Mbule the opposition ya tlhakatlhakane because of abatsebe go rotloetsang ha eta style nyana ke go tshego gore he frustrates them. Ulela borile bo mangmang. This season ke shebile gore ntwe e to winelang Pirates di trophy kaofela ke go tse gore eno ke batla Club World Cup wabo ntwe ke bonang ke gore the bench, this team was not built for the league, it was built for the continent because hanne re shebile Pirates ko CAF last season re defeatilwe ke gore Saleng a bile a tsamaya ke tse go tsagetseng ka Saleng a ka batle go di kena. We have moved on this season. O sheba bench go tletse di winger tse dingata tse leng gore ba na le skill, the same type of players. Ke go tse gore depth e leng gore is on the pitch is also on the bench. Pirates is unstoppable this season. Wait again, le ka bua Chiefs ko morago because of they don't have a tactical abana philosophy ba latlhile that thing ya bone ya gore ba recruita di star from Makasana yanong ba sa ietsa nto ba batla go shaena. Nna ke shebile Pirates this season ke go tse gore league is between Pirates, Sundowns and a surprise package. Go na le team engwe batho ba bangata ba ile mogi ke Amazulu. It's very very experienced players ba ileng gore they know what they are doing ke di Mavericks. So when it comes to go bula di team tse dinnyane ke shebile gore Ben 10 o tlo lisa batho ba bangata. Nna ke shebile Pirates this season with again I'm so happy ke satisfied. Pirates all the way.
Go. I want to ask you very quickly, boy. Do you think that you need to find someone for Radio Pani, maybe another striker? Do you think that Makgopa will be enough there?
Thank you. Ke go tse gore Makgopa is a winger yanong o evolvile. Mare ntwe ke boneng ko Spain ai ke go tse gore coach e mo unlockile. Ha ke sheba ke go ba mentse the Hoyland ha go sheba Rasmus Hoyland le Makgopa ke the same thing. Ke go tse gore yanong o mo switchitse on. Motho o nne ke mmatla go Pirates this season Ashley Cupido ai bang khawatile ka go sa baentwane le because of if ne rekile Ashley Cupido ne re na le a sure finisher. Radio Pane wa bona go wentse assist yanong ke go tse gore Radio Pane is our Firmino, Roberto Firmino. Ke go tse gore he drops in to the midfield o link play wa assista a police ke Sadio Mane Rile ke go tse gore he can do whatever he wants. Rile le Tito ke bone nkare keng cheat code ya rona go na le bafana ba bang ba ko benching ke mang sebelebele
Okay.
o Spain o mmone o bone Dlamini na etsang ko Spain
Yeah.
ke bona kotsi
For time, I'm gonna jump in and let Piggy come in. Piggy, welcome.
Oh, how are you? How are you guys? How are you guys?
I'm good, thanks, and you, Piggy. Tell me about the first half. Welcome.
I want the first half, Nick. I want to start with. Okay, I understand the 3-2. I think it's 3-2-5 or
Okay.
3-2. Then I don't understand the dynamic that's happening. What I hate is seeing my striker go collect the ball in the flanks. I want to because he collects the ball from the flanks, he crosses, then who's gonna hit?
Yeah.
Another question mark. Another question mark. It's not like a double pivot. We're playing with a double pivot whereby we have 2 number 6s. Apparently, if I'm wrong, someone can correct me.
And apparently, yeah.
Nah, if somebody can correct me, we're playing with 2 double pivots. Nah. If we play with 2 double pivots, we are limiting us from going from progressing the ball. Because what happens with Bule holds the ball. He can find that pass, yes, but he holds the ball. Then when he passes, does he support the ball? No. Our right wing backs, left wing backs must go support the ball there. That's why I don't understand the dilemma that's happening in the middle field. Because I would prefer Nduli to stay. Let Nduli attack. Let Mbule attack.
Yeah.
Because the last game with Katafe, I remember something happened. You remember Denson? Denson was like a number 10 for us. He collects, he passes and whatsoever. What's happening here is it's low key. We are playing like Chiefs. Then I don't know. We look for a pass. I don't understand. We are playing positional football or transitional football.
Okay.
You see, so okay, I understand.
Tell me, just tell me about the relationship between Bule and Tito, Bule and Tito and Apolis. Can you make me understand what's happening there, maybe, if you can explain it?
Okay, let me start from Tito. Ne? Tito, we know he can collect the ball, but he needs somebody that he can play with. Okay, he plays with Apolis, but Apolis, it's not his strong side where he is. Number one, you're not putting him where he's strong, where he can exploit or come with chances. Ne? I understand that if he tucks in, if Apolis tucks in, Tito goes and supports at the flanks. You understand? So he doesn't be in that middle field where it's congested and whatsoever. Then with Mbule is more like a coordinator. Like he can pass. He's a more of a coordinator than a master chef. Like they assume he is. He can pass. Mara, when it comes to combination, my guy, 1-2, let's move. Cook something. When you are master chef, Mara, you understand? I don't understand the relationship between Mbule and Tito. Mara, I understand that Mbule, he has the eye. He can dribble. Mara, I don't understand how strength is high. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah, so like I wanna understand, Mara. And this thing of if we play with a strong team, they're gonna exploit us because there's a huge gap between the attacking midfielder and the 2 CDMs that we have. There's a huge gap. And when we lose the ball there, you find that Dion Hoto went there to support. Dion Hoto apparently is a rotting back and he's our winger. And then Mufugen plays half left. And then Apolis plays half right. And then we have our wingers there. And we get exploited in the middle field, and that physical presence that they have in the striker, it's a problem, eh?
Okay. I wanna step in. I'm gonna come back. Stay on, Piggy. Let me bring you to Bongs. Champ, welcome.
Yes, OT. Compliments of the new season.
Tell me about this first half, Bongs. Shivle bo makwena or rinka one.
No, man. Biggie alright when it comes to Pirates. No, they need to do no. Are they an attacking type of team or they just want to play passes? Because playing this Piggy in the middle type of football, let's Polokwane City get this half chances. And Polokwane City hiding get half chances because Pirates are passing and passing and passing, and then they back pass the ball. That's why now Polokwane City get the ball and get this half chances. And Polokwane City, I say these half chances they are getting to get these goals. So Pirates end up making fouls. So that's why Banaling so many fouls. But going forward, Pirates look more exciting because they have a policy who's trying to cut inside, dribble inside, and lapik mo a goal.
So Bongs, how should be the Pirates? I want to speak about the defensive unit. Do you think that they're picking up where they left off? Do you think they're going to be very strong with Unduli deputizing for Bakaul?
Well, Pirates are going to be tough at the back, but a lot of fouls are going to come from the back because at the moment, because a lot of free kicks for Polokwane City who are not really taking these half chances that they are getting.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen in the second half? Do you think that Pirates can continue this?
Pirates will get another goal, but Polokwane City will also get a goal. I don't think Polokwane City are going to win this game.
Okay. I want to bring in Open. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, Oti, who's it?
Ah, man, spoile, man. Kunini sibukela ma-international. Sikhathele, man.
Kunini mfowethu, kunini. Hi, welcome local football bafethu.
Uthini nge-first half?
First half I would say ukuthi it's typical of an open season game. I mean, the team is still trying to gel. Let's not be too critical bafethu. I hear bafethu bakhala, but it's an opener, you know. The team is trying to gel. The only point engifuna ukulokhuza disagree nani. I don't know, you made the point yakaMakaula Raoti. I think Kumbule is a good addition to Orlando Pirates. We know his credentials. I mean, we all know Kumbule what he's capable of. I think Makaula, we had his struggle, so he was a good ball winner.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, distribution yakhe be poor. I mean, he will have a part to play maybe Guamanyama games, where we might need more of a defensive player. But Tumbule, I mean, he's a I would say he's more like a in both halves. He's not a master of any. I mean, he can defend the ball. He's good at playing the ball distribution-wise. So I would say good addition, including Apolis. I mean, he scored one goal, created a penalty. I'm happy with my signings with Pirates. Let's just not be too critical of the Pirates. It's an opening season. And the Pirates, typical, we know it, man. It's not a defensive team. It relies on outscoring our team. It will give you chances. It's a Polokwane if they do take those chances. But the Pirates, for the longest of time, it has always relied on outscoring teams, not being defensive.
For time, I want to bring in Boy. Can you tell me what changed very quickly? What changes you'd make in the second half if you'll make any changes, and what's your score prediction?
The changes tse ke di bonang go re dula etsagala ba tlontsha TLB go morago because ona le yellow card, ba tlontsha Rile because ona le yellow card, ba tlontsha the opposite winger a police because of the way ba changing, the way they switch the position. Ke go tse gore e tlo ba khatatsa stamina mare when they drop back and defend ba khona go khokha moya. Ba tlontsha someone mo magareng ba kenye Makaula because re batla go kwala ba tlontsha Mbule because of a re batle gore a tswe matute kaofela ba tlo kenya General Selepe, the best pivot in the world. Ke go tse gore itse ra kwala mona ntwe Selepe
Makaula le Selepe bai
how I mara ba tlo change o itse ke go tse gore squad depth sa rona se on ke go tse gore Pirates everything is on la nke banka di tona tsa go development ba di kenya go first team ko re itse ke go gatswana ke bona 7-0.
Let me go to Piggy. Piggy, what changes do you make? What's your score prediction? Guys, the second half has started.
Okay, my prediction is like, okay, let me 4-5, 4-5 nil, or
Okay.
5-1. Yeah, bro. And I would like Zokipa a relay and Monkey Burile. I'll take a police to the left. Mfaga
Okay.
Huban, I forgot who's this guy, man? Who's this guy? Who's this guy? Let me. This guy from Moremi.
Oh, Morem, okay.
Then I keep low. No. I mean, dog. It's not settling with me. I take out Mbule, Mfago Tensen. You know, Tensen if
Okay.
he's there. Mfaga Tensen there. And then, yeah. TLB. At least, even that is there. Mfaga Nda, Mar if it's not there.
Nonda.
Okay, Masfage, who?
Koki is there.
Kogi. Hey, Zakara lap. Okay, Kogi. Kogi. Then I would at least put someone or Sibilibili in. I would like Sibilibili to
Yeah.
play Mara. The problem is we can't play him because you know what I feel. I fail to understand. Our wingers don't longer do take-ons.
Okay.
We only rely on crosses. So, corner line shaya corner Mara. I would switch a police and let at least Hoto must not overlap. At least he must stay there because we have a problem with transitions. If they transition
Yeah.
counter attack, we're gonna have a problem because most of our defenders can't have position. You understand?
Okay. Now for time, I'm gonna jump in. Bongs. Changes prediction.
Now, Uchi, I'm not gonna change anything as of yet. I'm leaving the team the way it is. But what I want Pirates to do now is stop playing this piggy in the middle type of football. They should just try and play their normal football where they can attack so they can get the goals.
Okay. Score prediction, Kana?
I did say 3-1.
3-1.
Orlando
Okay.
Pirates.
Let me go to open. Talung Valele, man, for the halftime panel. What do you think is going to be the score and what changes do you make?
I'm not certain who's on the bench, but I'll take up Maswanga I put to Dlamini.
Okay.
There's this issue, Manyaga Maswanga. Maswanga last seasons, he tends to be flat-footed, want to overplay baller. I don't know if your coach is he capable of maybe disciplining Maswanga in that terms. But nonetheless, I think 3-1 for Pirates.
Okay, no, open. Thank you so much. Guys, we went over the 25K, so it is open. I'm going to let the next guys come in, but I just want to give my thoughts. We are a minute into the second half here. Please remember, my timer doesn't go past 60, so add 45 to whatever my timer is right now, and you'll know exactly what time it is. Guys, please mute when you come in. So right now, we'll be sitting on 48 minutes. Okay, this is what I think. Like I always say, for me, Pirates is an incredible team. Pirates plays very well. Pirates wins these sort of games. But the question, the thing that I have always is it because Pirates is doing so well right now, or is it because the team that they're playing against can't take advantage of some of the questions that Pirates has? There is a question of transition. Like we spoke about Hoto, we spoke about Kimang Hoto Lishandu pushing up, leaving the defense in a 2. The one thing Makaula really could do well was cover the defense fully. I think Unduli is still getting used to having that role of covering the defense on the left and right hand side. So if you could counter-attack the right way, you could probably get something from this game. Mashiane has come a lot close to putting those two under pressure. If you have Mashiane and a trailing runner, you could probably do something there. We go into the middle. I think, again, for me, Tito and Mbule, one is going to have to die throughout the season if they don't know how to adapt. The reason that maybe we're not seeing Mbule be as effective going forward is because he's playing the 8 and has to maybe sit back for Rutito to allow that space at Tito. So that's why you see him dropping back and rather playing the wall pass than playing those window breaking passes. He's played a couple of them. I'm not going to take it away from him, but you'd probably see that more if he was the creative hub, right? We're still trying to make space. Paris is still trying to make space for Tito. I think up top, the movement of Apolis, of Mfukeng, Radio Man even dropping back in sort of a Mahopa type game is great. It's coordinated. It's a lot more coordinated. But I think you still have the same questions to ask as to where the goal's going to come from. Where the goal's going to come from. are they capable of getting more goals? Now, you could argue that you don't necessarily need to win every game 4-0 and 2-0 will be fine, which is a great argument. But when the chips are down, who's going to be the one that's going to score, which is maybe the question you're going to ask about Abu Radio Pane, to be honest with you. Is he going to be an out-and-out striker, or is he going to be opening up for everybody else? Otherwise, I think Pirates has played particularly well in the back. Umbule has allowed Mbogazi to rest from having that constant burden of having to play the ball out from the back, which is very good to see. This is something that we have been asking for. Those who watch Pirates has been asking for, to say you need a midfielder who's not afraid to get the ball and pick it up. Sort of Ndlondlo type player, but somebody who's a little bit ahead of Ndlondlo. So that's good. On the left-hand side, I think Mfukeng is really under this coach. We're saying that he's a winger, because you're seeing him drop all the way back, and you're seeing him, Bule, really assisting Umbogazi, which is something that I enjoy a lot, because they had a tendency of just leaving him and he'd have to play that long ball. Still want to see a little bit more from Pirates, still want to see some goals, still want to see where the goals are going to come from, because again, it still feels like wishy-wishy. But if they are getting the goals, what can we say? Yellow Black Sheep, welcome, how are you?
Shapo kunjani Mr. OT?
Ngimnandi man. First off, what do you think about this game? Actually, let me not say first off. What do you think about the Pirates? What do you think of this game?
Before nyalapho ngizwile ukuthi unegama elisha bathi Mr. Masas. I like to say I'm impressed by Sipombule. The way he plays so simple. He plays simple football, and it is difficult to play simple football because it demands a lot. It means that the role that he is playing, he understands it fully today. Because normally when he play 8, usually when he play at Sundowns, he wanted to do a lot of things. But today I see he's playing correctly according.
Yeah.
So I'm impressed. I'm impressed by his combination of Mbule and Tito, because he allow Tito to open space for him so that he can operate in a free space with those passes. He dish the passes freely when Tito take on those people to the deep pocket. So I'm impressed again by what you call Apollo. The Apollo, the way he play, when he cuts inside, he makes the defender of Polokwane City not to understand where he's going. He's going to go outside again, or he's still going inside. And the way he drift in, he will give many opposition defenders problem. And I'm impressed again the way Relay, he's so relaxed. He's not that Relay that is rushing to do things. He allow Apollos to take over. He's not competing with him in that area. And then the other thing that I don't like about Polokwane City is that they have that chance of playing transition football. But the problem is they are playing individually. They are not quick to pass one another so that they can open that defender, because it's already open. They are not taking it on. So somebody, when he got the ball, he want to run with the ball instead of putting the ball on the space to somebody and space also. So that's where the problems, I think, it lies. But I think Putti, he will fix that problem. And I'm interested by number 4 and 5 of Polokwane City, the way they deal with the way when Pirates try to overload that center position. They stand firm there. They don't open that back line of them. And then they close many passes that were, I think it was supposed to be 4 or 5 goals that were in.
Okay. Overall, do you think that Pirates is going to be able to make a difference this season? Is my last question to you, Yellow Black Sheep.
Yeah, I believe they will make a difference this year, especially with the comfortability of Nduli in the 6, the way he's so comfortable on the ball. So I believe him and Sipombule, they will contribute immensely for Orlando Pirates' success this season. I see Orlando Pirates. challenging, because me, I don't like this thing, or I mean, I don't like this word challenging. I like the word competing. I want Pirates to be competitive, because so long they challenge. Well, you know, when I
Yeah.
say I want to challenge you, it means that I want to get closer to you. But when
Okay.
I'm competing, it means that I want to be level with you or pass you, because I'm competing with you pound to pound. But challenging, to me, as long Pirates is keep on challenging Sundowns, guys, the league is gone, Vet.
Okay. No, Yellow Black Sheep, thank you so much. I see a question in the comments. OT, you don't have a podcast even now. I have a podcast, guys. The George Mokwena podcast. So if you're looking for it, the George Mokwena podcast on my channel on YouTube, the Overthinking Football Show. Let me bring in the Stereophonic. Stereophonic, my brother, welcome back again. Did you want to add anything?
I want to add to what this guy is saying. I understand it's just the power of English. Ne? Mara, I'll compare something to an arcade game.
Okay.
Ho fetsa o betha motho a kere. Motho a nyaka go tsena, o irang wa challenger. Even the game
Yeah.
says new challenge coming. So Pirates have to challenge.
Yeah.
Yes, compete, I understand. Pirates have to challenge. Because otherwise, already I'm sure there are members that are saying PSL ke Farmers League.
Yeah.
Oh, and unfortunately we can't defend that.
I was
we
gonna
can't
say,
defend that.
I was gonna
because
say, are you gonna fight it?
we can't fight it. We can't fight it because even now, we are watching the bridesmaid. Bridesmaid ipila, and ipila blind. Ipila mara eish, eva ronyo ko monyala war ish ano erke menyana yena. Ashu mo ko mamse kwa yeah, wabona. So yeah, as far as that is concerned, then yeah. But then coming back to, I wanted to add from what I was saying. We are giving Polokwane City maybe too much of a fighting chance.
Yeah.
I see 3-0, 4-0. Yeah, I expect more of the same in the second
Okay.
half. It's just that now my stream went out, so I need to find another way of just watching the game again. But yes,
My brother. I wanna say the brand. But they don't pay me, so it's fine.
plus I get now I was watching via Mushigashiga. Lady
That's why I get
in the mix.
That's why I get it. There's something. There's a brand but they're not paying me, so I'm not gonna say it. It's fine.
Don't say it. It's fine. Braga.
No, thank you, Stereophonic. Let me go to Hansel, the concierge. Hansel, how do you feel about Pirates? Oh, man, my brother, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Oti. Good afternoon to everyone in the panel section and everyone in the comment section. Mr. Oti, I think at this point in time, we are being overcritical given that it's the first game of the season.
Okay.
There isn't much that you can see in a single game. I think specifically in the first half, it's just been 45 minutes now. So what I can say is this is not the best of Orlando Pirates. The best
Okay.
is still yet to come. The best is still yet to come. But I like the comfortability of Mbule. I think he's doing his primary jobs, his primary duties very well. Now he's holding the ball, he's making those passes. Especially in the first quarter of the game, we played very well. I think just after that goal, we started playing like Orlando Pirates of last season. We went into a half, and then we started distributing the ball, and then they were contributing to that stats that I hate so much. Ball possession without goals, for me, it's useless. We're playing a lot of balls in our own half.
Yeah.
I know it's a tactic to get the other team to come to your half and open up and see spaces and all those kind of stuff, but if it's not getting you as much goals, I think for me it's useless. But I like also how our police has put his foot forward, because a lot of people, they were saying he's not playing, especially in the preseason, because he was not running as much. It's Spain, the weather and all this kind of stuff, so he has not adjusted. But I like how he's playing for now, and also impressed with the likes of Otto. It seems like he isn't the league isn't closed. He's still good. It's just that I think with BC and China, coming from the hours, just that they won defender of the season and goalkeeper of the season, they nearly gave Polokwane City a lifeline. Sorry about that. a lifeline there, a mistake here and there.
Yeah.
But if it's not football, if it's not a game of mistakes, then it's not football. I'm happy. So far, I'm happy, but this is not the best of Orlando Pirates. People should brace themselves. There's so much yet to come. Yeah, and as the coach said, this is the when the league starts officially, you're gonna see a different Orlando Pirates altogether. So far, so good.
I want to ask you. We're saying that Pirates, we haven't seen the best of Pirates. Do we take away, apparently there's a 5-year plan. Do we take away that this is the 4th year of the 5-year plan? Number one, that maybe Pirates should be a little bit more ready right now. And then number two, is there a bad culture in SA that are ready? It almost feels like we still have to give the teams 5 or 6 games at the beginning of the season to find themselves. Do you think that that's a bad thing, or is it normal?
Mr. Oti, I think this expression of first impressions should last. I think is very important. Usually, a lot of teams in the PSL, they start very slow, and most of them, when they pick up, they want to pick up on the second quarter of the league, which is by then, I think number 1, number 2 is already established. I think it's one thing that the team needs to, especially the management, they need to get rid of that mentality and allow teams to start the season like they are playing the last game. I think that will also improve the league and also challenge, especially the so-called big teams in the league. Because now we are not only playing in the PSL, we are also competing in Africa, and in 4 years' time there will be another maybe world club, what. So I think we need to push the standard of our football as soon as possible.
Okay, no, Concierge, thank you so much. Let me go to Andile. Emma, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having us.
Tell me about this game. Tell me about Pirates. How do you feel? How do you feel about Pirates as a whole? How do you feel about the league?
I guess I'm not necessarily watching just Pirates. I'm just watching football, South African football in general. And I think Pirates had you're listening to some of what some of the other guys are saying around sort of Pirates haven't sort of hit the blocks as yet, and they are still getting themselves into the season. I disagree slightly, because if you look at it, right, they scored very early. That already tells you an indication that they went off the blocks quite quickly. You saw they were attacking in the first 6 minutes of the game. They were high up the pitch. Right, that's already an improvement. We're seeing a team coming in the first game of the season. They're coming in out the blocks really quickly. So that for me was an extreme positive. I think what maybe we are seeing is that over time in the half, we're not seeing that same level of intensity being maintained, and I think that's obviously going to come as the season goes. But that's something that's generally an issue in our league, where the intensity is they struggle to maintain the discipline and the intensity, because you saw moments in the game where Polokwane had opportunities to get in behind the Pirates defense, and they didn't capitalize on that. And I think that's the other point that I wanted to bring, is to say that the only way we're going to get better is if even the teams that are sort of mid-tier, low-tier, if those teams start to have a bit better discipline and defensive structure, as well as capitalizing on the moments that they get, that will improve Pirates as well as a consequence, because Pirates are going to say, okay, if we don't make sure that we're disciplined throughout the game, we could get penalized, which then makes Pirates a stronger team in terms of defensive structure as well, which then when we go to Africa, when we play against your Al-Ahlis, who will capitalize on the opportunities that Pirates present them, we will then be ready for those kinds of situations as well. So I look at it from a whole league perspective, because I don't support Pirates nor Polokwane whatsoever. But I think what I'm seeing from Polokwane is some of those guys, you can see that they're not as well coached as maybe a Pirates are, which maybe speaks to the fact that the kind of resources they might have is not the same. The kind of the manpower they might have is not at the same level, right? Because I think there was a moment in that first half where Mbogazi makes a lovely run forward into the POLOKWANE final third, and then he loses it, and then POLOKWANE get a counter movement there, and then I think the guy beats the first man and he gets behind him, and then he tries to play a through ball. What the striker then does is he makes the run, but he doesn't pick up that because the pass is being slightly delayed. Let me hold the run, or let me bend the run a bit, so I beat the offside trap, and then Pirates easily get the offside trap, and it's like, dude, you're focusing on the pass and not focusing on your run as a striker, and that for me is just it's a simple coaching flaw, because you need to have full awareness.
Do you think that South African teams lack those things? And maybe it's not necessarily a resource problem, but it's like, do we analyze? Because you could say the same about Pirates and say, if you have the same problems every year, surely at some point you have to be like, guys, we have to do something.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that's exactly what I was referring to. Just didn't use the right words, but essentially it's the analysis portion that some of the lower teams lack. I'm not sure, but it seems as though they don't have the kind of analysis teams that Pirates might have to pick up these little mistakes and dial down on them, because it's all about the details a lot of the times. So I think if the smaller teams can beef up in terms of like pre-analysis, post-analysis, discussions, because football is also it's a mental game as well. It's a lot of thinking, it's a lot of education. That's why we call it football education. And I think some of the lower teams just lack a bit of that, which would make them better and more competitive. And these games would be more entertaining because it would be a little bit more end to end. But yeah, I think Pirates are clearly the better team here. Yeah.
No, thank you so much, Andile. Let me bring in Agent, my brother. Welcome to the show. 67 minutes in, Pirates 2-0 up. How do you feel about everything that we've spoken about?
Jihad, Mr. Oti. Jihad.
Oh, Jihad. Today's Jihad.
No, man. So, from Jesse's team, what was Pirates in a nutshell, if you can describe it?
Oh, you mean just Nje?
Yeah.
Yo, that's an open question, Agent. They're emotional. They get chances every now and then. I think coordination up front was missing a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I always felt. Maybe, we know first 10, 15 minutes, Pirates make sure you don't concede.
Yeah.
Last 5 minutes before halftime, make sure you don't concede. And then anything in between, it's what it is, So I'm coming to saying to the point that I don't see much of a difference. I personally don't.
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it. I don't want to say it.
No, you must say it, because wherever at least they will not say you are biased, you are bitter, you are what.
No, I get it when I say it. Look, I get it. The conversations we've always had on the show and even in the group is that Pirates is a good team. They're good enough to beat Polokwane City 2-0, eyes closed, right? But are they good enough to do it 7 weeks in a row? You get what I mean? Are they good enough to make that much of a difference in scoring? So even now, we're saying Pirates look so good, but I mean, the first half ended and Pirates had 3 shots, Polokwane City had 2 shots. Pirates had 2 on target, Polokwane City had 1. It's not, it matters. But okay, anyway, yes, Agent.
No, that's why I am that the how they scored the goals, especially the first one, among some typical Pirates goal, remember they beat Sundowns 2-0. I think it was in the first 10 minutes. Was it 10 minutes, 15 minutes? So hence I don't get the overpraise, at least, from where I am, But what I can give credit to the coach for is I love the ball coverers. I would love to see how much they take before they win the ball, especially the first 30 minutes. I
I think it was very, very, very quick, you know. But then after, hence I asked, can they maintain this intensity? You know, hence I'm not surprised that a player like a Police goes out with a hamstring injury.
A muscle pull, yeah?
A muscle pull, you know. I'm not surprised because they were pressing, you know. So it's something that maybe they can build with time. I think that's the thing that impressed me. I think also when you have a Nduli there, you know, as opposed to Makaula, I think you retain the ball more, obviously Edung Bule there. So maybe the ball retention is much better, you know. But then again, on transition, same thing. And also set pieces, even though I don't know why Polokwane City is always looking for the far post, I could say at least Chinese is claiming the boss, you know. So now, but then on transition, and then playing kind of in patches, still the same as last season, to be fair with you.
Can I ask, Agent?
Yeah.
Are games like this the problem at Pirates? I don't feel like these games are the issue. You know, I think there's other games when, you know, they don't have the heavy 5 minutes to start, when they're not quite in it. Is that the big question for Pirates this season? Because I don't think Pirates is a bad team per se, or at least they're good enough in the league that they can beat any of the teams. Mara, it's a mental thing maybe that we're only going to see a bit later.
You know, I think, you know, maybe sometimes it gets taken as a negative comment as opposed to a positive comment. When I say I don't see much of a difference. Because Pirates is extremely good. Even last season, it was extremely good. It is the few games that kind of, you know, they expose them, to say the least. You know, imagine just this game. It was playing against Stellis. You see what I'm talking about?
Titus has a goal.
You get, you know?
Yeah.
So it's still one of those things that worry me. Hence, I can't, when I say I don't see much of improvement, I'm not saying they're not good, they're good, but they're as good as last season. You know, I don't see a step up of maybe from 5 to 10. You know, I just see a step up from maybe a 7 to 7.5. I don't think it's from 5 to 10 or 7 to 10. No, I think it's just the small details, and obviously the quality is very much interesting, you know. And I think what I love now is, look, they take out a police. Who do they bring on? You know, you take out with the striker. You know, who do you bring on? Who is missing here? Makopa is missing. You know.
Makaula's missing, midfield of the season.
You know, so you can see that maybe in terms of the quality has improved a lot. I think it has improved a lot, you know. And then obviously there's the new guys in. So yeah, man, I love the fact that the coach hasn't tried to change too much, because I think that was my fear. Because we saw that with Mangoba. So even in as much as I think that they're keeping the ball a bit more, I still feel like they're a bit fast as they were last season. So yeah, man, good display by Pirates.
No, thank you so much, my brother. 74 minutes in, Pirates still 2-0 up. Before I let you know, Butlale, I think my thing also, even now, I'm not, I think Pirates is being very mature right now. You don't need to go and win 5-0 really, and I think they're trying to manage the game, which is also something a little bit different to what Pirates normally does. So I also want to give them credit. Yes, I'd love to see a 5-0. Yes, I'd love to see the things that I'm talking about, but the truth of the matter is that they're 2-0 up. So they don't need to be going that hard anymore unless Polokwane City scores. Do you need a 3-0 maybe just to make it proper out and not have the threat of a comeback? Sure. But for now, I spoke about Sundowns, and I said Sundowns, they score their 2 goals early, and then the game might be boring for the rest of the game. You might watch a complete half of boring football. which is then the credit you have to give to Pirates. Even if we question how the 2-0 came about, you still have to say that at least manje, but they're realizing that, okay, let's take off our police, let's take off the other players, and let's manage the game. But in any case, I want to bring in Butlali. Butlali, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hello, Izzy.
Butlali, how do you feel about this game? How do you feel about all of these things?
Also, you know, a couple of days ago. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Ozzy. You know, a couple of days ago, you know, I kind of forgot that Pirates signed Usihle Nduli, Ozzy. And I feel like he's one of the signings that you know went under the radar. And you know, we've been speaking about Apolis, we've been speaking about Mbule, all for good reasons. Yes, and all for good reasons. And I feel like, you know, Nduli has gone under the radar, and I feel like he brings a different element to Pirates, you know. And we saw with that goal that he was the one that made that line-breaking pass from into Radiopane, right? He was the one that made a pass that broke up, I think, 2 lines of defense into Radiopane, and I feel like that's what Pirates has been missing from Mbata and
Makaol.
Yes, Makaol. So yeah, I feel like, you know, that's the profile of 6 that they needed. You know, the 6 that can, you know, start attacks for you. You know, provide those risky passes, those passes that, you know, create, you know, those passes into the pockets. You know, where creative players can really, you know, make something out of that, right? So, and also, not to speak his character as well. You know, he came into Pirates, and you know, he already looks like a leader. You know, I already see him clapping hands, you know, leading, and you know, that just says a lot about his character. He has that bastardness about him. You know, that you know, he's not a nice guy. You know, yeah. When I watch him, you know, and you know his character from outside, from what we see, you know, I just get that type of energy from him. And I think every team needs those type of players, you know, those players that can be bastards when the bastards of them needs to come out. So yeah.
Can I ask you a question though? Can I ask you a question? You spoke about that line breaking pass. You spoke about how he was starting the stuff. Should we be worried that we didn't see a lot of that from Pirates after that consistently? So is it a case where they've planned it out, or is it a case where, you know, it happened spontaneously like that? Should we be asking for more intentionality with the way Pirates plays, for example?
OT, you know what line breaking passes, OT, they are a risky pass for a reason, OT, and you have to pick, you know, spots that you have to do them. So we're not gonna see them all throughout the game, because again, you can't play risky passes all throughout the game. You're gonna get caught, right?
Yeah.
So, so I think, you know, it comes down to, I mean, I think you know, the midfielders are encouraged to do that, and you know, just comes down to the quality of midfielders. But my theory is when Mbata and Makaula was there, you know, there was a reason we were seeing Umbogazi, you know, launching the ball up forward. You know, he's kind of skipping the second phase of play, and then just launching it up and letting Evidence Mahopa, you know, kind of be the connector of the attack, right? But
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, Pirates is evolving right now, and we're gonna see a lot more of those risky passes from the midfield, from those risky passes from Usihle Nduli, those risky passes, risky line breaking passes from Mbule as well. So yeah, I think it's evolving. I think they heavily enhanced the midfield just with those 2 signings.
Okay.
Because, you know, now the ball can be played through the second phase of play and not just skipping it. And even if, let's not act like they were not doing that well, OT. Sometimes you have to break the rules of traditional football. Sometimes you don't have to go through the second phase of play. Sometimes teams don't have to go through the second phase of play. You can use your midfield to stabilize defense, which is what Umakaula does, right?
So Butlali, just for the last question here, does it make Pirates more dangerous, or is it still a case that Pirates is still a very, very good team. That fine, we've added the names, Abon Dooley and those guys. But the score still, Boma 2-0 versus Polokwane City, still the goals come the same way. They still have some of the same weaknesses. How do you feel about that? Do you think that it makes them markedly better, or is it again a situation where we need to wait for the harder times of the season? We need to wait for the random games that they normally lose. Is Polokwane City enough of a test right now?
As OT, you always put me in these types of positions. You know, I hate complimenting our Pirates and our Sundowns. Now I have to speak good about them. It's like OT, like why, man? Give me a chance to just release the hatred. Now I have to. I'm crying this side, but I have to soften up now because of our Pirates and our Sundowns. But you know, I think the first goal, the first goal is a great representation of what what makes them more dangerous. You know, as I said, I can keep on going on about these risky passes, but to answer your question directly, I mean, I kind of agree with what agent says. It does make them better, but not significantly. You know, I think it makes them better by 0.5% out of 10. So, Pirates are already good, but have they made that leap to, now beat Sundowns? Have they made that leap to now go on to the final of the CAF Champions League and win it? I don't know. We'll see through the course of the season.
Okay. Now I'm gonna jump in for time's sake, guys. We are sitting currently at the 82nd minute. Pirates still leading 2-0. The game has broken down. It's not as intense as it was in the first half. I think Pirates is just trying to see out the game. Polokwane City, like I told you guys, they were gonna come in strong for the first 10 minutes of the second half, and then they're gonna drop off, which is the pattern of a PSL side. I want to give Pirates kudos for being able to do this. Like I said, it's very mature to be able to come out and say, second half, guys, we don't need to go and burn ourselves out and do all of those fancy things. Let's just see out the game. Let's just see it out and play it out. And, it's going to be 2-0. Polokwane City is not going to give us anything, which can be a problem, for example, on two fronts for me. The one big problem is Pirates at this level maybe should be saying, we are going to clap these teams 4-0, 5-0, 6-0. We're so much better that just by structure alone, we're going to clap teams 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, right? Which may be a problem in that, can we trust Pirates to do this the entire season? But then number two, you look at the PSL teams and you ask the question, have you guys gotten better? So Polokwane City, have you gotten better after losing Aboapolis, after doing all of those things? Because it's the same pattern. The fact that I can tell you what's going to happen in the second half, because we've seen the same thing play out the whole time, right? That's worrying. And it's worrying again. It's worrying again because Pirates, as I'm forgetting who said it now, Pirates is going to play teams that are going to take advantage of them in ways that they're not used to being taken advantage of. And if the PSL is not a test enough to make sure that Pirates is doing everything in their power, right? If Polokwane City was putting pressure on Pirates right now and Pirates was defending in order to maybe teach themselves how to counter in these situations and do that, then where are they going to learn it unless up until the time when they face a team that's going to take advantage of it? So that's where a little bit of the fear comes into this, to say, hey, Pirates, not Pirates, the league, are you guys ready then to take these games seriously? Back to the question that I always speak about. I always say the same thing. Is Pirates the second best team in the country because Pirates is that much closer to Mamelodi Sundowns, or is it just that Pirates is that much better than the rest of the league? And that doesn't serve Pirates. It certainly doesn't serve Sundowns either. So these are the type of questions that maybe we need to ask from this. Bongs?
Yes, OT.
85 minutes, 2-0. Or ring about what we've been speaking about here.
So far, watching the second half, given Pirates intensity, their core players, their key players. So second half, Pirates are playing a strange type of football. Whereas these teams, ba shebellang Pirates at this point, ba sa bapaleng. Would study Pirates or no in the second half. The coach o tlo batla ho ntsha his key players because you can't take out batho ba tshwanang le bo a policy if you are really trying to win a game. I don't say hore ba win bo ma 4-0 5-0, but at least try and win ka a convincing scoreline ho bontsha hore they can challenge for the league. Because right now it's like they are just not even ready to challenge for the league for this season.
So Bongs, now I wanna shine the light over Polokwane City. Is Polokwane City treating this game as a serious game, Lebona? Is Polokwane City upping their levels from last season, Lebona? Or is it going to be another situation where Ritosheba Sundowns beating everyone and we're going to maybe see Pirates beating everyone, or Pirates not losing because Bashapile Kimotu, but losing because Baluse focus themselves? Tabanaki difference, Mon.
You know, Pirates is wrong when it comes to Tuesdays and Wednesdays. That's where they are going to be struggling again. Because Tuesdays and Wednesdays, Pirates are not really taking those games seriously. And that's where real points are, because they're always losing focus when it comes to Tuesdays and Wednesdays. They are not taking those games seriously. But they will try and fight. But Sundowns won't just won't be lying down. They will try and defend their crown. So Pirates will still have a little bit of trouble when it comes to Sundowns.
Okay. For time's sake, I'm going to jump in. Ausen Tabi?
Aptoti dumelang le panel. I don't have much to say because I
Hey.
ne ke batla fela ho hopotsa bana ba itu hore ba ska ba lebala on this MTN 8 club e ke supportang e ke tsebang hore tla solvela Stellis it's here. Ha ke na mantswe ka Pirates, ha ke na mantswe ka Malemane, ne ke re fela Stellis is here.
But o tla golwana Ausen Tabi.
No, I'm not. I was just making a reminder that bakana ba bapala no tjena ka Polokwane ba ipone ka re ifle ba dlala a 100% football lovely. Why don't you le kopana le bo Matalong?
Yeah.
Bosani o dlala Stellis re tlabe re dutse fatshe rona the friends of Stellis re shebelletse, and I know Stellis these two clubs e ba fa them, so se ke Stellis M1080. I'm right behind you boys. Cape Town in Nano. I got you next.
Hey, I want to tell you. Neripuela am na to bona ge to bona di comments tsa ka o se tabi. Hey. Hi. Okay, o se tabi. Ke a tseba hore na le ma Pirates ke ba bakhelwane mo. O buela bona ba. Let me go to Piggy. Game is rounding out 2-0. How do we feel? Do we feel different about Pirates? Different about Polokwane?
Nah, different. Polokwane hasn't changed a lot. For me, even the new season, for me, it's like they continue where they left off. Even Pirates, for me, it feels like that. Because it's just it's the first game. You can't even see the intention. I saw even the preseason. I was like, okay. But when we come back to Mzansi, Ziyakhala manje. Ziyakhala Mzansi. We can't control the game. Simple, control the game. Okay, we have two. At least control. Get the last one, because 2-0 is not. It's not a tangible score whereby you can rely on it and say you're gonna win the game with 2-0. Nah. Now you see, now when the substitute, I'm happy. I just don't know this guy Mariko. I don't know him. No, he comes. But I'm happy to see dancing, because he can unlock this. He can transition. He can unlock the middle field. At least we have numbers in the middle field. But this thing that I've been telling you first half, whereby there's a huge space between the midfield and the left, the CDMs and the attacking midfielders. There's a huge space. When we lose the ball, we lost the ball. Police track back. The counter attacks that I've been telling you about. We haven't secured that, and we've been playing this league. Look at we've been playing this league for a long time.
Can we? I wanna end this off by just asking you. Isn't it time we start looking at Polokwane City, Libona, man? That what's the point?
You know what I want to see actually.
Yeah.
Cuckoo, Stellies, even Cape Town City, but unfortunately they're not there. But
I get it, we cry about top 8. Top 8 means something. Top 8 means something. Does it look like Polokwane City cares about what it means?
Nah. The hunger, they don't have the hunger. They're not hungry, man. They're not hungry. They're not. You remember Magesi? I want someone like when it comes to competitions. I want someone to be like Magesi. Be hungry, like have intention to win something. Not come here just to honor fixtures. They're just honoring the fixture. This one. They're not going to play the game. We played Mara. There's no one even outstanding. No one is outstanding.
For time about it. Yeah. Give me a last statement there.
My last statement is can I have a question for my last statement before?
Okay.
Why would you like ask a question then I'll answer it?
How does Pirates go from number 2 to number 1? Because that gap is a very big gap. I know we tried to downplay it, but what does Pirates needs to do?
For me, continue from where Jose left off. You know, let Jose continue from where he left. Let this guy, Abdeslam, continue where Jose left off. Because now you introduced the new system. Okay, are we transitioning?
Yeah.
Are we still the Pirates that we were? Or you came up with because I don't understand. I fail to understand. So playing this season is gonna be tough because number one, you don't know what Pirates comes with. Number two, the middle field is not convincing. Eh?
Okay.
The players they are there, Mara is not convincing.
For time.
Number one,
yeah.
I don't think we're gonna get it. At least, the competitions. Number one, we're not gonna get it. Number two.
I want to bring in a boy. How do you feel about the second half that Pirates has played?
To be quite honest, I'm a bit disappointed because he take about a 7.
Yeah.
But that 7 in because of Sipombule. It's very hard to play simple football because of Sipombule knows what he's capable of. How the touches but Tito will relax. Go kene bo Mariko, bo dancing, bo mang. Nanto e ke tshwang ka Pirates ke gore I'm very convinced gore this season re tlo win a league because of depth, squad chemistry, psychology ya bafana ba tsogile, they are awake. Polokwane batho ba bangata they can say gore they are not hungry, they are not in because of ha re shebile mo le bona ba batla go wina, le bona ba shebile ko ba tswang go teng gore why le Galaso against Pirates. Mara ntwe ke tshwang ka Pirates ke gore I'm very convinced ka gore preparation e tsamaile gantle, the squad ke go tshwa gore re bone di player tse dintšha tse dingata mara re kgonne go maintaina le go sustaina the match, the flow of the game. Mbuthuma ntwe nka itshwang ka Mbuthuma ke gore he's not a striker e leng gore a ka khona gore a hold the front line ali one. Radio man o khona go drop. So ke go gore Pirates in terms of the player acquisition re khonne go reka di players tse leng gore they are different. Re ka solve any team. Polokwane ne ntse dutse in a low block mara ba khonne go kena go boxing. If le gore ne gona le the beast incarnate Tshegofatso Mabasa ne le goal ne go tla bana le goal because of Mabasa. He works for the team. Mbuthuma ntwa yetsang o stretcher defense. So nanto ke tshong ke gore Pirates defense ya rona is strong.
Okay.
Most of the players tse leng gore ne di dlala last season adiyo. Mara go kene di players tse dintšha tse leng gore ba kgonne go kena and carry the team. Ntwe ke disappointed ka yone ke gore azang ba khona go kora. Mara at most Polokwane didn't have a shot at goal. So as much as Pirates didn't dominate the way I wanted to dominate, defense is strong. Komorago is strong. Kopili is just an eventuality because of Hanerishebile Radio Pan na dropa a tlhalla bana ba bang, meaning gore when he drop re ile le a police maphorisa ne ba khona gore ba overlap ba kena ko boxing e le gore it's either they shoot or ba createlana, they give the ball to each other. Ntho you want shotang mo Pirates ntho nka itshong, we need that 10 and a half e leng gore a ka khona gore a kore di goal mara a drope. Ke go tshego gore the system ya Pirates evolve and ya evolve. Ha re sheba Radio Pane is the evolvement of Kemet Erasmus in the team, because of Kemet Erasmus was a striker e leng gore na dropa mo boxing, na dropa in the middle. Radio Pane o na le size ke number 9 ma go dlala 9 ele ya gore o kenya bana ba bang mo gaming. So Pirates anke ya thola a 10 and a half e tshwanang le bo bona a player le Gift Mutupa. If you look where he was still young, ebe a tla mo Piratesing na tlo kena Bondumiso Mapena anga abua aga kena ke go tse gore that player santsane itla mara Pirates, I'm very proud of my team and e tladile bolo e tswileng diatla ntho e tlo re bolayang ke intensity ke go tse gore a go kene coach na kentse di playmaker tse di ngata first half. So that's why we bona 65% the ball possession. But otherwise, we can't manage a game. Ntwe disappointing ke gore azanyera finisher of the game.
For time.
A re tlokopana le bo Chiefs. A re tlokopana le bo Sundowns. Di tlo go sokodisa.
For time, I'm gonna jump in. Let me bring in Litabo. Litabo, welcome. How are you? Guys, wait, before you jump in fully, the game has ended 2-0. Pirates has won. They're through to the next round of the MTN 8. Sorry about that, Litabo.
Yeah, Uti, thanks for the opportunity, brother. Compliments of the new season.
Welcome.
Game.
Yes. Yeah,
interesting game. Firstly, congratulations to Pirates. They've gone through, they've done the business, and that's what's important. You want to get to a final, you want to play for the trophy. Yeah, but anyway, I think interesting from Pirates. I also get the feeling that they're not really ready to implement the coach's tactics. I think in phases you saw where they want to implement them, and they're just not getting it right yet. I know other speakers have said that he's not moving away from Jose. I don't think Jose had a system on which you could build on personally, and the type of coach they've brought in. If you listen to his interview with Robert, he spoke about how he wants to play with the ball, how he likes control, and that is not what Jose was about really. Consistently enough, against the smaller teams he would do it, but against the big teams he didn't. And he tried it once against Sundowns at Loftus, and we saw what happened. But today's game, I think the first goal he did really well. I think Mbule did what he does best, receive the ball, turn and plays a very vertical pass. Radio Pane, surprising, I must say. I didn't know he had that ability of linking and playing really well. He did that really, really well today. And getting Apollos a goal, that is amazing. I was skeptical when they signed Apollos because I wasn't sure if he has the ability to get goal contributions, but hopefully he can. Got a bit lucky with the second goal, took a heavy touch, and it fell for him, and he got a penalty and scored. But when I look at Pirates during preseason, they didn't score a lot of goals. I think they scored 2 or 3 goals, if I'm not mistaken, in all of their games in Spain. So I thought they were going to really struggle, and I think that's the question for them this season. Can they get a striker who can score 15 goals? That's the minimum requirement. If they don't have that, it doesn't matter what they do; they are not going to win the league.
Can I ask you something? I just want to ask you. Everybody's pointing to the goal that was done very well, which I agree. Do you find any problems with it not being a move that you saw more often? And do you think that as South African football as a whole, we struggle? We love the spontaneous goals. That was a spontaneous movement that was based on the individuality, the individual brilliance of players. Should we be seeing more setups, if that makes sense?
Well, hence I pointed to my first point in saying that I don't think they are ready to implement the coach's tactics. And why do I say that? If you watch the games in Spain, they tried to play out from the back multiple times and they failed consistently. Today, I think they tried it twice. The first time, the goalkeeper got caught out in the first half. I think he passed one of the Polokwane players and they couldn't convert. And the second time they tried it, and it ended up with CBC having to run with the ball and playing a long ball. So I think that's their problem. I think the two centre backs and the two full backs are not comfortable building up from the back.
Okay.
So what happens is then, because you've got a player like Mbule who wants to demand the ball and says, come on, play me, and Nduli, which I think is good enough to play that system, they don't have players who can feed them. And we've seen this thing when CBC partners up with, I think at the national team, we've even seen it. When CBC plays, he can't feed the midfielders. And I think that's going to be an interesting dynamic to see what happens when Da and Sesane come back. Because I think that's who they want in that position, looking at the way the coach wants to play. But I think Pirates are not going to challenge the season. That's my opinion. I don't think they've got the strikers who can score 15, 20 goals.
No. So thank you so much, guys. I'm going to leave. I have to go. I don't have the time. We're going to obviously break down today's game and tomorrow's game on Monday. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll do a watch along. Monday, 8 p.m. Remember, the show now starts at 8. Monday, 8 p.m. We're going to break down these games and have deeper conversations. I'm going to say, I know it's going to sound negative, but I think Pirates is still the very good Pirates team that we saw from last season. They still have moments where they don't create as many chances as we'd like to think they do, or we're told they do. I think they played this game very quiet. Abumfukeng were quiet. A lot of the players weren't really as effective in the final third. I think Pirates still plays with a lot of individual brilliance. I think the first 10 minutes of a Pirates game is always where you must look out for Pirates, because that's where they are up for it. They're open, they're going for it. But when you really drill down to it, I think that Pirates wasn't as effective as we're saying. But Pirates maintains being a really good team that is just better than everybody else. A lot of the same weaknesses exist. You have your left and right backs pushing up all the way, leaving a back two. When they were counted on, there were some issues. They struggled tiny little bit on set pieces, but remain a very, very good team. The biggest compliment you can give to Orlando Pirates is that they didn't go backwards, especially with a new coach, especially with new players. The fact that they didn't go backwards is very good. My challenge to Orlando Pirates is to take very good and make it great. And if they can do that consistently, I'm looking for that. Pirates is a team that has always had the tools. I know all the signings Pirates made this season are incredible. But if we look at the last 5 years for Pirates, I don't think there's been a poor team at Pirates. I just think now the challenge is, can you take the natural greatness of the players and add on a level where now they've got a structure underneath them that can also carry them when the individual brilliances run out? I want to give credit to Pirates for the second half, because I know we are all looking for them to score 5 goals and 6 goals. But the truth of the matter is that at the end of the day, a win is a win is a win. If you've got your 2 goals, whether it was one good move and a penalty, whether it was you're playing amazingly, whether it was whatever, they got their 2 goals. And they showed a lot of, I'd say, discipline and maturity in the second half, not to do too much, because sometimes doing too much can hurt you. So well done to Pirates. The question that I have, I guess, is for the rest of the league. Polokwane City, I think they did relatively well defensively. I think they had some chances on transition that maybe they should have taken. But you get the feeling that this was a game where they felt as though it's done. Like they felt as though, you know what, guys, it's expected for us to lose this MTN 8. And they followed the same pattern that a lot of teams follow when playing bigger teams. right? They come out versus Sundowns, they come out versus Pirates, and they defend first half, they play deeply, they concede the goals, and now we see them be positive. Like if Polokwane City had maybe started the game the way that they ended this one, or started the game the way that they started the second half, maybe you see a little bit of something. When they started pushing players up, when they started putting certain Pirates players under pressure, when they started not crowding themselves at the back and maybe expanding the game, they really did give Pirates a lot to think about. Pirates didn't have the same spaces to exploit. They didn't have the same play to exploit. They didn't have the same time. So I implore the teams in the PSL that, guys, Nani, you are also not just bridesmaids and secondary teams in the league. You are no longer that. You have to step up at some point. Polokwane City, it's no longer just good to be in the top 8. And this is me speaking. He's actually on the screen. Coach Pitso Mosimane, one of my favorite coaches. There was a regression from 5 to 7. And then you'll find yourself at 10 if you don't start making the moves to move forward and going out and actually at times. Again, I'm not saying that Polokwane City must come out and run at Pirates and be reckless. I'm saying that you have to pick your punches very carefully. And when you do punch with everything you have. I don't think Pirates was immaculate today, but also Pirates saw the game because of Polokwane City don't come to it. Same pattern. Defend, concede, second half come out with intensity, can't keep up with intensity. 15 minutes after the first half, the second half starts, you're done. You're out of it. I don't think that serves anyone. And I think I'm going to end it there. I'm going to have my thoughts out in an hour and a half. So please check it out. Tell me what you guys are thinking. Monday, 8 p.m. We're going to be back here live and we're going to dissect both this game that Pirates played versus Polokwane City, and then also the other one. So if you'd like to continue having these great chats, you heard the panels. The panels come in and we have those conversations. Kindly follow, kindly subscribe. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Live on TikTok and YouTube. And then, of course, I've got my own thoughts. My match review is going to come out in an hour on YouTube. I'm going to give you a snippet on TikTok. I've got a podcast. For those who don't know, the Joseph Mokwena podcast is on. I drop content on my channel. I try to do a lot of content weekly. Then, of course, the three-man press, myself, Lindo Pep, and Khalifang, Football Khalifang. Please search up on YouTube. Three-man press, incredible conversations we have there from 3 different, very distinct vantage points. Then, of course, on the MacG channel, Podcast and Chill, we've got a podcast there, the Banter League, Onside the Banter League with myself, PD Jokes, and Desley. So, guys, Standi Pola, Skalani Support. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you want to watch this back, all of the lives are available in full on YouTube. Thank you so much to Biggie. Thank you so much to Msibi. Thank you so much to Tepo. Thank you so much to Soweto Gens. Thank you so much to Mapule, big supporter Mapule. Thank you so much to Felicia, Mnigeli, Crazy T, and Lebza for the gifts on that side. Guys, I'll see you guys then tomorrow, 3 p.m. We're watching the time, Lebza, but 3 p.m. tomorrow. We'll be back. Thank you, Crazy T.